Hi everyone, it's Jay from Mitosu Crafts. Thank you for joining me today. We're an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrators based in the UK, so you can purchase current Stampin' Up! Products from our online shop if you live in the UK, France, Germany, Austria, and the Netherlands. So today I'll be sharing with you how to create a variation on the twisting pop-up card that I shared probably a month ago, and I'll be using the Winter Woods stamp set with the coordinating dies in the woods framelits, as well as the perfectly plaid stamps from the seasonal catalog and the coordinating punch, pine tree punch. So this one I actually created for the stamp review group, and it's this card, and it pops up like that, and it creates a nice winter scene. So that does stay, but you can have a look like that. So I thought I'd bring together the winter woods from the annual catalog as well as the seasonal stamp set perfectly plaid. So I'll be doing a variation of this one today. So you'll need seaside spray, cardstock for the base, and that's 11 by 4/1/8 of an inch, folded at 5.5, and also mark at 2 1/16 of an inch, just so you know where the middle point is. Also, Sahara sand, so 3 panels of Sahara sand, but that is actually all the same width, so that is 4/5/8 of an inch by 3/1/8 of an inch, so 2 of those, and then another one at 4/5/8 of an inch by 2 inches. So I've gone ahead and stamped that in the birch, I'm guessing, the tree trunks from Winter Woods, and I'll show you how to stamp that using the Stamparatus as well. And you'll also need 2 of this one, which is again Sahara sand, 4 inches by 1.5. One is scored at 3/8 of an inch and 3.5, and then 3/8 of an inch and 3 inches. So that's for the mechanism inside. And then you'll also need, finally, a seaside spray for the middle mechanism, and that is 5" by 1.5. So I'll show you how to score that with the Simply Scored. So I'll just move this along. So with the Seaside Spray cardstock, measuring 5 by 1.5, score at 1.5, 3, and 4.5. Turn anti-clockwise and score at 3.25 down to the second score line, and then mark at the bottom. So you can do it that way, or you can turn it all the way around and then just mark there. Okay, you can score all the way down, but you will see a little bit of score line with when the card is up. So I'll just quickly show you. So on there you can see that there's a score line there. So if you don't mind that, you can just score all the way down. Okay, and now we're gonna do the diagonal scoring. So with the mark, we're gonna score down there, and a crisscross there. So I'm just using my Simply Scored to align those up and then score along. So what you could do is you can find the middle point and then move that along whilst you're putting pressure on your stylus there, like so, and then align the top and the bottom for the crisscross that way, and that way. I can't actually see properly. and you'll end up with something like that. Can you see? There we go. Okay, and then we are just gonna cut the top off, and cut this off. There we go. So we are just going to cut the up. And then this one, just do a tapered for the tag. There we go. And that one, you just, so this one you'll fold up. So if you fold it crisscross first, and you can use your bone folder. So if it doesn't line up, you can just slightly line it up and train the card that way. And then on the other side, okay, and then if you just, actually if you do it that way, so what happens is you will lift it up and create a point, and then just cut a tiny hole in the corner there. So that is your mechanism, and instead of having two mechanism, you can just have one, and that just gets folded up, and then that gets stuck on there. Okay, so I'm just gonna burnish that. And you need another seaside spray, and this is 3 by 1 inch, and that is just scored at, did I write it down? No. So 1.5, 2 inch, 2 1/4, and 2.5. Okay, and to fold that up, so it's basically just fold that inwards, and then inwards again, and then this one inwards. And because that's a 3 inch, you just need to take a sliver off the end, which I've already done, but I'll just do it again, because what's gonna happen is that's gonna fold in itself like so, and if it's 3 inch exactly, that won't work, and you just need to press that in and fold. So that one will actually glue onto the mechanism as well, like so. Okay, so we'll construct the card. Actually, we'll do some stamping. So I'll show you the Sabin pre-stamp. So what I did was I used the Stamparatos. Here we go. So I've aligned it on the left hand side, just off, slightly off the left hand side there, and I know that it's gonna stamp from there to there. So I'm just gonna align my card along there, and I stamped in smoky slate. Right. Just create some space, and I tend to put a stamp underneath just to help ink that up. So we're just basically gonna move along, stamp, lift, and then move along, and then ink again. Ink up, stamp, lift, and make sure that's 90 degrees. Move along one, ink up, stamp, move along one, and I know that's gonna move, so I'll just move that there. And I just did this to all the panels to decorate the inside and outside the card. There we go. So that's those three. So those are in the inside, that's for the outside. And for the mechanism that I showed you earlier, I actually stamped as well. On the original, I didn't stamp it. So I thought it might be nicer to have that stamp. So what I did with that was, if I just move that along, I know that it was gonna stamp. Where was it gonna stamp? There and there. So with this, I just aligned it a centimeter up, so that's 3/8 of an inch, and then it's just over that score line and just below the score line. On the other one, because it is longer, so I just aligned it the same way. So aligned it along that straight line there, and then stamped the same way as with these. Okay, so that is done. I've also gone ahead and stamped my trees, because there's a lot of them, on normal Whisper White. So what I did was made sure that my garden green ink pad is not too juicy. So I did that by spreading the ink on the pad and then ink it up. And I've done first generation and then second generation. So I inked up, stamped once, stamped twice, and then inked up again, stamped once, stamped twice, and then inked up again on there. So that's from the Winter Woods. And this one is from the Perfectly Plaid stamp set, which is this one. I thought it looked quite nice together, and it looks photorealistic. So again, I used garden green, first generation, second generation. I haven't done the stump because or the trunk, because it's easier to punch that up before doing the tree trunks. So if I show you there, so I'm gonna use crumb cake and then the tree trunk. And then just line it up. There you go. So I'll do all of those off camera, and I just need to die cut that with the coordinating die from the In the Woods die set. Okay. There we go. So I've die cut those, punch those, and stamp the trunks. With this one, I was just gonna take that off anyway. Oop, magnet. So that's gonna be like that. And then I've also pre-die cut the tree in gold glimmer instead of the gold foil, and the flourish in mint macaron. So on here, originally, those were actually mint macaron ink, but I thought I'll just use one ink pad for the trees. And what we'll do now is we'll decorate, or we'll glue the trees together. So I'll just have that in there. So this one can go there, and then one can go there for the right hand side. For the middle, that can go there, and then can go there. So I'll stamp the sentiments first in my offcuts, and I'm just gonna use Memento. So Merry Christmas in the middle, inside even. Actually, if I do it that way, then change the up. There we go. And I'm just gonna use the everyday label punch to punch the up. So I'm just using the straight line on the top as a guide, pinching it slightly on the punch to make sure that's straight, and then punch it out. So do the same for this one. And I'm just doing it by eye. So this one I'm using the bottom line as a straight. Punch that up. There we go. So that is done. So that's going to be for the outside. That's for there, and that's for here. Okay, so that one, glue. Where's my card? So I'm just going to use this as a guide. So that one is just going to go in there. So I have tucked that in, actually, this one in, because of the movement of the trees in the middle. You want these to be not sticking up, so it's there. So if you tuck that in, that should be okay to stand up. So from there, it looks all right. And then this one, I didn't tuck it in, so I will tuck it in this time. There. So if I do that one, and then the corner. So what I'm just basically doing is using the table as a guide to know. You could also use your grid paper, but I just find it, I know that the table will be straight, and because it's not even at the bottom, it's just easier to do it that way. So that one is straight on, and I'm just gonna add a bit of glue down there to keep that in place. So that's that down. So it is slightly over, but that can go there. And then the Merry Christmas with these ones. So I'm just gonna put it all the way down there. And I tuck that in, because if you go over, it won't look right. Actually, I had it even more. There. Oh, I know. Yeah, I had a. So that corner there, I just had it coming out. So that comes out here. And then I slot this in before it dried. Obviously, you can change it up. I'm just trying to recreate how I done it. And so that's a straight line, and I'm using that as a guide. There. And then this one just gets put on top there. Just make sure that's stuck on, and that goes there. Okay, and that looks about the same. Wow, that was quite cool. That was impressive. So if you do have any sticky excess, use your embossing buddy. I'll just go get ours and just take the stickiness off, because you don't want that to be sticking onto the card base. Okay. Right, I think that is done. Okay, so we can do the construction now. So fold that in half. And with your mechanism this side, so that is gonna go in the middle. So the mark that I'm created, just making sure that that hits the crosshair, and that's gonna get stuck on there. Before we do that though, I'm gonna stick this together. So we are just going to add glue onto this tab, and then pinch that down like so, and then let that dry a little bit, and that gets stuck down at the back of this. So probably 3, if you do it that way, a centimeter, which is 3/8 of an inch. So that's gonna go like that, and you're gonna add glue there. And that just gets glued at the back. Like so. So that will be the back of that. Oh, I didn't stick those two. Okay, I'll finish this up and then I'll stick those two. Okay, so we are basically gluing these tabs there. Okay. Oop, that moved. And then just help it along. If you fold it, yep, that looks all right. And we are gonna add glue to that tab there. So I'm gonna close it and then close the up and then let it find the tab and then hold it for a couple of seconds. Did that work? No. Because what I find is it's not completely straight. So there you go. So it's got a slight overhang of the tab there. But that's fine, that's at the back. But just make sure that it's not sticky. There you go. So that is the mechanism for the middle. We're gonna glue this together and then that can go there. So I believe I just went one across like that. Also be aware that you don't put it too high, because when it goes down, if it's too high, it'll go up out of your card. Okay, so if I glue that like so, so how it was. Yeah, that's fine. So it's just one up. And also, because this is not a straight edge and it might catch on there, I've curved that slightly so when it hits the base, it doesn't catch onto anything. So I'm gonna do that for this one as well. So I'm just gonna curve it slightly, and you can do it whilst it's not stuck on, and then see if it does catch on anything. If not, then it's worked. But if it catches on anything, you can curve it a little bit more. Okay, so that's done. I'm gonna stick that onto there. Let's have a look. Middle. Like that. I don't know if it's my fingers or if it's excess, but that is stuck on. And I'm gonna stick this on in the middle as well, like so. So I'm just gonna add glue to the top here. And I'm just gonna align that in the middle, or see if it's in the middle, and I'll do the base there. There we go. And now we can add the panels. So the panels are these for the side. And I've done it so it's just slightly shorter than the mechanism, so just in case it doesn't, that's slightly off, it's not too flushed onto it. And that is about half an inch from the top, and I believe half an inch from the bottom. So you could always mark it on the top. Half an inch. Oh, I think the grid paper is half an inch actually. Yeah, it is. So the grid paper is half an inch as well. So I'm just gonna add glue. And lining up on the right hand side. So that's one down. And then on here, nearly. There we go. So that's done. And then we have the 1 inch here. So I've changed it up. I didn't want to put it all the way up there. I thought it looks neater if it's stuck onto there. And then this one is stuck onto there. So the left hand side it doesn't affect the mechanism in the middle. So you can put it anywhere you want, as long as it obviously that doesn't hit go over the left edge. So you can line it up where you want it. You can have it all the way across. I quite like it there. So just make sure when it doesn't hit this tree as well. So this one was done with the half an inch, and the 1 inch one was for that side, I believe. So if I'm just gonna add glue onto this one and then stick the tag on there. So for that one, just stick that down. Actually, if I do it this way, and then that will determine where you can put your tag onto there, so you can have it there, so it doesn't actually hit it that much. Okay, So add the tag there, glue even. So I want it there. That's not gonna hit anything, so I'm gonna just plonk it there. And use your bone folder just to make sure that's stuck down. So that looks neater than the first one. And that is more out. It goes out more than the first one as well. So with this one, again, do the same. So stick the tree there first, and then that will be down there. Okay. So that one is all the way down. It does hit it slightly. Right, I'll stick it down first. And we'll see how it goes on. So I'm just going to stick that down there. So I know that that is actually quite close to the end. So I'm just lining that up there, making sure that it doesn't go over. And then that can be added on. So that can go up higher than that one. So it does create a nice scene. So now just aligning it. Okay, I think once it's stuck on, yeah, that should be fine. He says, all right, I'm gonna add it, and then we can work on the tree. Yeah, that looks cool. That is stuck on. And then when you close it, so that needs to be curled up a little bit more. So I'm just basically pinching it and twisting it up. So if you want, you can pinch that as well, just to kind of like have a shape, I guess. So when you close it, it's that one that catches up. There you go. It is trial and error, but once you've got it sussed, once you worked out which area is catching and you can change it, then it's fine. I think that's fine. Okay, let's see. Cool. There you go. So then you just need to add your rhinestone or gem to place it where you want it. So I tend to check, because that's kind of like curved up, curved up. I don't know, slanted even. So I try to mimic the how it's slanted as well. So when you're looking at it that way, it has the same angle. Okay, so if I do it that way, I'm just gonna get pearl. There. You can add more than one if you want, if it doesn't, if it keeps moving. So if it does move, so you can add a couple. Or get a bigger one. But I don't want it too big, because once it's up, it shouldn't really move anyway. And plus you don't want some more height inside the card. I think that's fine. I'll put 3, just so it looks like it's uniformed. Yeah, that looks good. Can you see? Yeah. So I'm just checking there. So I'll do one there. And I'll do 3 again. One there, and what's that? One, two, 1, 2, 3, 4.5. 1, 2, 3, 4.5. Okay, that worked out. I was using the grid lines, just so I wanted the same space in between. I just need to go a little bit. In. Right, there we go. So that goes down, that goes down, that gets folded, and we can work on the front. So because I wanted to keep the panel the same size, so it is actually shorter than that one. But we'll see how that works, and I'm just gonna add that on. I think it's that way. Yeah. To the right. Yeah. Okay, I'm just gonna add that on. About 3/4 of an inch from the top. And then we have this one, and I thought actually I was gonna, yeah, I'll add the, what's it called, stripe ribbon. So this is from the Wrapped in Plaid suite as well. So I'll add that on there with there and tape. You could also, if you want to keep it close with a ribbon, so this is an afterthought, you could tuck the ribbon inside there, and then you can have it as a bow, and then that will keep the card close. But oh well, Too late now. I can't do it myself. So just do it that way. Ooh. And I'm just gonna have that across. Got that. And that one and that one. And it's just making up. Yeah, that's it. Decorating the front. And just do a bit of these. Mm. There, yeah. And then we have, where's the stamp? There. And I'm just gonna add dimensionals. Go. Yeah, that's fine. There. And a bow with the linen thread. So just do a couple of 1, 2, 3. Cut. Then double knot. Make sure it's in the middle. Cut that up. And then just spread out. I can't see the ends. There we go. That's fine. Oh, so fiddly. Why did I do a bow? And then that just gets put on there. So I did as well is I just twisted this all the way, like twisting it and twisting it and twisting it until it twisted in itself, and then created like these shorter tail. I thought it was quite funky. I'll just get glued up. So that's just gonna be added on. Onto here. Where shall I put it? I put it there. Right, let's see if it'll work. I'm just twisting and twisting until it curls up in itself and go funky. Yeah. Or what you could do is fold it in half and then just twist it. That might be easier. And then it curls up. It just adds another interest, I thought. Um, instead of having tails. Where's the other tail? Is that 4 tails already? It's somewhere in there. 1, 2, 3. Oh, it is. Yes, look. No, that is the 4th one. So that is quite tiny. There we go. So that is curled up. Yeah. Right. I'll add maybe some gems in here. Oh. That's gone upside down. Right. Pick it up. There we go. There we go. So twisting pop-up card with the winter wood stamp set as well as the in the woods framelits dies along with the perfectly plaid stamp set and the pine tree punch. If you do like to purchase any of the current Stampin' Up products I've used today, links will be down below. And you'll be able to purchase if you live in the UK, France, Germany, Austria, and the Netherlands. You can also join our team, the Mitosu Stampers, to get future discounts on craft supplies as well as exclusive early release products. It'll be great if you can like, subscribe, and comment on our videos. Please share them as well. And yes, so subscribe to our channel so you can get notified when we upload or when we're doing our YouTube live. Thank you so much again for joining me. Until next time, bye!